Medicine is a profession built on trust. Patients hand over their lives to doctors, believing in their knowledge, ethics, and care. It is a sacred relationship, one of the highest forms of human responsibility. But what happens when the healer becomes the threat? When a person trained to save lives instead chooses to take them? The following cases are chilling reminders that even those in positions of ultimate trust can harbor darkness. These are 10 doctors in the United States who crossed the line from healer to killer, shocking communities, patients, and colleagues alike. 1. Michael Swango, the real-life Dr. Death. Michael Swango isn't just one of the most notorious physician killers in American history. He's the kind of criminal who changed the way hospitals operate forever. Operating through the 1980s and 1990s, Swango moved from hospital to hospital like a phantom in a white coat, leaving a trail of unexplained collapses, sudden deaths, and poisoned co-workers. Patients who seemed stable would deteriorate moments after he visited. Colleagues who shared a drink or snack with him would violently fall ill. What made him especially terrifying wasn't just the murders, it was how perfectly he blended in, how he weaponized the trust that comes with a stethoscope. Swango kept meticulous scrapbooks of disasters, car crashes, and hospital emergencies, suggesting an obsession with death that bordered on ritualistic. Despite repeated suspicions, he slipped through institutional cracks again and again, forging documents, manipulating supervisors, and exploiting a medical system that at the time lacked the communication and oversight needed to stop someone like him. His motives remain a psychological puzzle, a chilling mix of control, thrill-seeking, and an almost clinical fascination with human suffering. By the time the truth caught up to him, Swango had left a wake of victims across several states and even abroad. His case became so infamous that it forced U.S. hospitals to tighten hiring protocols, share disciplinary information, and overhaul verification practices. Michael Swango didn't just commit crimes. He changed the entire medical system because of them. 2. Jeffrey Willis, the regional predator. Jeffrey Willis wasn't just another criminal. He was a meticulously organized predator whose shadow stretched across West Michigan. Even though his crimes were rooted in Muskegon, the entire region, including Kalamazoo, felt the echo of his actions. Willis operated with chilling precision. Secret files, hidden compartments, coded behavior, and a disturbing level of calmness in the face of horror. Psychologists still examine his case because Willis wasn't driven by chaos. He was driven by control. The kind of man who could smile at a neighbor, then return home to a world of horrifying fantasies, carefully compartmentalized away from public view. He became the prime example of a regional predator who lived 2 lives, one for the world and one for himself. And the one he hid was monstrous. 3. Paul DeWolf's killer, Shaquille Jones. The murder of Paul DeWolf, an Air Force lieutenant, a medical student, a man dedicated to saving lives, stunned Michigan. Even though the killing took place in Ann Arbor, its emotional impact was felt strongly in Kalamazoo's medical circles. WMU students saw themselves in DeWolf, someone studying late into the night, someone with a future, someone with purpose. Shaquille Jones, convicted in the burglary-turned-homicide, became the center of a tragic puzzle. How does a simple break-in spiral into the death of a man who was never supposed to be home? The randomness of it terrified people. DeWolf wasn't targeted, he wasn't hunted.
He was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. A haunting reminder of how thin the line is between routine life and irreversible tragedy.
4. Dr. Anthony Garcia, the Revenge Killer. Dr. Anthony Garcia's case is one of the most chilling examples of a medical professional turning to murder as a form of retaliation. After being dismissed from a residency program in Nebraska, Garcia spent years nursing a deep sense of humiliation and resentment. That anger evolved into a calculated plan for revenge. He targeted individuals connected to his dismissal, murdering the family of a physician and later another colleague. What made Garcia's case especially disturbing was the patience behind his crimes, the long-term, simmering hatred disguised beneath the calm persona of a trained doctor. His story became a warning about how ego, rejection, and professional collapse can mutate into violent obsession.
5. Dr. Farid Fatah, the chemotherapy killer. Dr. Farid Fatah wasn't a killer in the traditional sense. He weaponized medicine itself. Instead of using bullets or poison, he used chemotherapy, administered to healthy patients who didn't have cancer. His motive? Profit. Fatah knowingly destroyed the bodies of hundreds of people, causing organ failure, permanent damage, and unnecessary suffering. Many victims died from the brutal treatments they never needed. His case shook the medical world, showing how greed, unchecked authority, and medical trust can combine into catastrophic abuse.
6. Dr. Richard Sharp, the psychiatrist who snapped. Dr. Richard Sharp, a respected psychiatrist, lived a life filled with contradictions. Respected professional by day, emotionally unstable husband by night. His marriage began collapsing under the weight of jealousy, control issues, and hidden anger. One evening, those emotions exploded. Sharp shot and killed his wife in cold blood, shocking the psychological community that once viewed him as an expert on human behavior. His case remains a disturbing reminder that understanding mental illness doesn't make someone immune to it. 7. Dr. Nadal Hassan, the Army psychiatrist turned mass shooter. A military psychiatrist trained to help soldiers cope with trauma, Dr. Nadal Hassan did the unthinkable. He attacked the very institution he was meant to serve. In 2009, he opened fire at Fort Hood, killing 13 people and injuring dozens more. Hassan's transformation from healer to killer became a national crisis, sparking debates about extremism, mental health in the military, and warning signs ignored. His case demonstrated how radicalization and psychological decline can turn even high-ranking professionals into mass murderers. 8. Dr. Robert Birnbaum, the pilot surgeon who killed his wife. Dr. Robert Birnbaum appeared to be the perfect surgeon, charming, accomplished, intelligent, even a licensed pilot. Behind that polished exterior, however, lived a man with explosive anger and an obsessive need for control. When his wife disappeared, suspicion fell on him. Years later, investigators concluded that Birnbaum had killed her, placed her body in his airplane, and dumped it into the ocean. His case remains one of the most haunting examples of a doctor using skill, planning, and confidence to cover up murder. 9. Dr. John Dale Cavanis, the insurance killer. Dr. John Cavanis, a highly respected country doctor, led a secret double life. Behind the friendly rural facade was a man drowning in debt, poor decisions, and desperation. In a horrifying twist, Cavanis murdered his own sons in separate incidents, attempting to collect insurance payouts to escape financial ruin. His case became one of the darkest examples of familial betrayal and greed,
showing that even the most respected community figures can harbor monstrous intentions.
10. Dr. Richard Iles, The Explosive Murder Plot. OBGYN Dr. Richard Iles orchestrated the murder of his estranged wife using a bomb, a method that shocked investigators due to its dramatic, calculated brutality. Iles was facing relationship collapse, financial pressure, and fears about losing professional status. Instead of accepting responsibility, he chose destruction. The explosion that ended his wife's life revealed the extent of his unraveling mind, driven by entitlement, fear, and rage. His crime highlighted how doctors accustomed to control may react violently when their personal lives feel out of their control.